All right, if you clicked on this video, there's a good chance that you're thinking about living in Evergreen, Colorado.
I mean, come on.
Sometimes just words aren't enough.
Yeah, and believe me, visiting here is great, but today we're going to talk about what it costs if you want to choose Evergreen for your home.
All right, let's go. Welcome back to the channel. You're watching Living in Denver with your Colorado real estate family, Pete and Chelsea Sweeney.
And if you haven't done so already, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, also the notification bell. We're putting out 2 videos a week now, guys, and we want you to be notified every single time that a new video gets released. We're also gonna put in our phone number down below, so go ahead and give us a call or text anytime that you want. We are answering your phone calls every single day.
Yeah, guys, what we do is we like to approach our videos as natives, as a family, and as your licensed real estate agents helping you purchase homes in Colorado. So let's go and check it out from the skies view, and we'll be right back. All right, so I gotta know this isn't your first time watching one of our cost of living videos, but if it is, I'm gonna go over how we kind of approach these videos, right? So what we do is where we have 100 is your national average. If what we bring in is higher than that national average, then obviously it's more expensive. If it's lower, then it's cheaper than your national average, right? And so Evergreen, Colorado, starting out, Evergreen as a whole, all your costs, real estate, grocery, hospital, everything, 156.7.
Yeah, so if we start breaking it down, we're gonna go into grocery like we always do.
Yeah.
So there is a difference here in Evergreen, and I'll tell you why in a second. So it is a 105.3, so it's actually above. Now, if you watched any of our other cost of livings, if you haven't, go check them out. We'll put a link right up here so you can click on it if you'd like. But groceries don't differ that much. However, the things that do make it differ is when you are outside of kind of like the suburbia where you have the Walmarts and all the,
I mean, outside of the city.
Yeah, sure, so up here you're gonna have kind of your more local markets, and then you're also going to have King Supers, but you don't have the Walmart and all the things that are typically a little cheaper.
Well, if you like go right off the highway, but that's not technically Evergreen, so
right. Yeah. So if you're up here and you're, outside of kind of the heart of Evergreen, you're gonna have more of your local markets and things, and so that's why the groceries could be a little bit higher up here. Again, we don't see groceries differ too much along the scale of the national average.
I actually went off on this on one of my videos. I think it was the Thornton cost of living. I'm just like, I don't understand how it could be so much more expensive, but I don't understand groceries because how can it differ so much from store to store? I feel like I don't like go to one store and then go to the other store and I'm like, oh my gosh, it does make sense, right? Like when you're kind of outside of your, what would you call them, like typical, or no, I'm trying to think of corporate, corporate grocery stores.
Yes.
You have your more family, small business owned grocery store. It's gonna be a little bit more expensive, but what's nice about that too is you get to support your local community, right? And so it's got the small business owners. They probably have a lot more, local farm grown stuff. So that could be a huge pro, even though this isn't a pros and cons, but I'm gonna say I'm a little pro anyways.
Awesome. Okay, so let's go into health. So healthcare up here. So yes, there's still healthcare up here, but if you're looking at a hospital, that's something you need to consider when you're going to the mountains. So the closest hospital up here to Evergreen is going to be St. Anthony's over in Lakewood. Great hospital. It's beautiful. I know they've redone a lot of it recently. The second closest hospital is going to be Lutheran, which we love Lutheran. So two really great hospitals if you're going to have to venture down to the hospital. But again, it's going to be a little bit of a hike to get down there, and there's not an actual hospital right here.
Lutheran's the best, just because our kids were born there.
It is the best. Also, not sure if you're into this, but I kind of am. It's a baby-focused hospital, which is a whole separate certification. I don't know if other states do this as much as Colorado does, but there's two different type of hospital focuses, one being family-focused and one being baby-focused. And SCL or Lutheran is one of the ones that is baby-focused. So still, if you're gonna have a family up here and grow your family, and you want to deliver to your, down somewhere you're going to be going, you're going to be venturing down the mountain, so you need to prepare for that.
Yeah, what's the cost? You never said the cost.
Oh, I didn't? It's $92.
92, and like I said, I mean, if you've checked out the videos, check them out if you haven't done so already.
Yes.
Colorado as a whole, for the most part, is always lower than, actually, let's see right here, it is 95.8.
Yes.
So Colorado as a whole is 95.8, and every city that we cover, I can't think of a single one that was higher than that. They're all below.
I'm a little concerned that the lower part of this could be because there's not as many healthcare diversities up here, as many providers.
You think
so?
So
I do think that could have something to do with it, is that you are venturing away from Evergreen to get some of your care, so that's why it could be lower, because they don't have some of those high cost things
Boulder
like
was like a
hospitals
92 too. So I know Boulder was like one of our lowest ones, and this one's even lower than Boulder.
But Boulder's very holistic.
It is, yes.
So it's interesting on how health differs, but I think part of it is why Evergreen is because some of the high cost things like hospitals aren't in Evergreen.
How do you get holistic with dental care? Teeth clean.
Look at this guy. I have no idea, but
I'm just
not
saying,
betting on
you're
that.
like a little bit, dental care is incorporated into that cost, and I'm
I want people to lash at you.
How do you do that?
Okay, let's move on. Let's go into housing, which is probably what you're interested in if you're watching this.
Yep, so housing. So here we go. Evergreen is definitely more expensive than your national average. So you got your national average, and housing's at 265.5. Like I said, it's the second highest city that we've covered. Obviously, Boulder was number one. It was like up in the threes. It was crazy. Your median price point at that is going to be right around $800,000 purchasing a home in Evergreen, Colorado. Now, here's a few things for that. Yes, you are away from the city. You're in an amazing town, I guess you could call it. You have a ton of land, so that kind of all gets incorporated into that cost, because down in suburbia, you're looking at like a a quarter acre less on those suburbia lots, right? Sometimes even it's even smaller than that.
Okay, well, one thing I will say about up here is that there isn't a lot on the market, which could also drive our costs for the housing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a destination place, right? Like Evergreen, like people come here from all around the country, I guess, or even world, I'm sure the world too, to see the fall colors, kind of experience Evergreen and all the hiking and the biking and all the stuff that's up here. So with it being destination, obviously you're going to have, probably some vacationers that come up here, probably a lot of summer houses too,
and retirees.
People
definitely retire up here, and so you're not seeing the turnover of houses like you would down in the city. And so I just looked, I want a house up here. Okay, that's how I'm a local, so that tells you something, right? So I also have been looking at what's available up here. There was only a couple things under $500,000, and it was pretty small. It was like a 2-bedroom 1-bath. So I mean, definitely, I think the housing is pretty expensive, and because there's probably a high demand and not a lot on the market right now.
So with that housing, of course, like I said, when we have that number, of course, that incorporates rentals as well too. So the rentals are going to be a little bit higher up here, but also your property tax. What are your property tax like? If we're down in the suburbia area, we're talking like Thornton, Westminster, Arvada, some of the stuff. Some of the areas, man, I cannot talk today. Down in Denver metro area, kind of when we talk about it, you're looking at closer to like a 0.75% for your property tax. And like I said, that's kind of a guesstimate because we have a mill levy in Colorado. I'm not going to dive in, but essentially what they do is they assess the property, and there's a mill levy that's incorporated to that and all that stuff. Not going to dive into that. We'll say on average, you're looking at like 0.7 to 0.8% down in your Denver metro area. Up here, you're looking at closer to like a 1 to 1.5%, 1 to 1.5%. I don't know what's going on with me there. I can't talk. 1 to 1.5% property tax up in Evergreen. So that's something to kind of incorporate too. Yeah. Another thing we really want to talk about, your sales tax, and your sales tax is actually amazing up here. We said that if you're in between an 8 and 9, you're doing pretty damn good as far as average sales tax in the Denver metro area. Well, Up here it's a 4.5.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Crazy.
And so a big thing for that, Evergreen as a city, as a town, doesn't have a sales tax. What's incorporated into that is your Colorado tax. There's a special tax incorporated in that too, and a Jefferson County tax. So Evergreen as a city doesn't even have a sales tax. So that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Where a lot of these other cities that we talked about do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So let's talk about utilities. So utilities up here, in comparison to national average, I got a hair in my mouth, is 94.4. So below national average. I don't really know what makes it lower up here. Do you? Is there any like specific thing that makes it lower, you think?
I mean, a lot of these houses are ran off propane.
Oh, that could
And
be
so
it.
if propane is cheaper than your natural gas, you know, it probably has a lot to do with that. Evergreen also as a city, it gets a lot of sunshine here. So guess what that means? Probably a lot of people popping over to solar, right?
Yeah.
And so solar and propane probably have a lot to contribute to that. But like I said, since you don't have the main lines that you would have in your rural area, or I'm not your rural, you're more of your city area, your city life, there's a lot of propane here. And so propane, you know, depending on the prices, it's probably gonna be cheaper than your natural gas.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get into transportation.
Transportation, so I don't even know what this, whoa, 124.9. I'm as surprised as you.
I think I know why though. I mean,
Because
we're up here.
it's away from the city, right? You don't
Yeah.
have your public transit system like you do downtown.
Yep.
You don't have that light rail that we keep on boasting about, right?
Yep.
Buses, I'm sure that they don't come up here. I honestly don't know, but I'm pretty like 99% sure.
Okay, but
So-
also it's 40 minutes from the heart of Evergreen to the heart of Denver. So you need to account for that gas. Plus you're going up and down hills, so you know that you're
Well,
not
the
going
gas
to get as
prices
good
up
gas.
here are definitely more expensive too.
Yes, yeah.
And I mean, think about it. If you have to deliver gas up into the mountains, you're going to charge a little bit more in order to get that gas. So
Yeah, and you are going to be higher RPMs. You're going to be going through your gas. I mean, I usually go through a lot more gas going up and down the mountains anyway. So
yeah. So it's definitely. I mean, majority of ours have been right around 100.
Yeah.
Right around there. So it's actually I think Boulder was a little bit cheaper, but so yeah, like I said, so it's a little bit higher for transportation, but it's a destination city, right? It's
Yeah.
somewhere that people kind of come to get away. With that getaway, you're going to be spending a little bit more on your transportation.
Well, I will say, I don't think people come up here to go back down to Denver all the time. You know, so
There's a few. I'm sure there's a few that like want to live up here and then they work down in Denver.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I guess the commute isn't that
Yeah.
far if you wanted to do it, but I'm just saying you don't have to actually leave Evergreen to get what you need.
Yep.
But it's also close enough to Denver for convenience. So it is, you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Yep. All right, cool. So last one that we always kind of cover is your miscellaneous. We're talking about your restaurants. We're talking about your shopping, your boutique spots.
He calls it boutique. It's boutique.
It's a boutique.
Totally fine, but it's boutique. And
How cool is a boutique?
and because there is not that much shopping in Evergreen, there is a lot of small little local places like antique shops. There was this really cute, I forgot the name of it, but it was a women's clothing that was just, oh my gosh, so cute. But yes, very boutique style.
Yeah.
And a lot of homemade, handcrafted things here.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
And so you're going to get a lot of that more expensive, homemade, not, everybody can buy it kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, of course. Well, in the restaurants, I mean, they're a little, I wouldn't say that they're crazy compared to Denver.
No.
I mean, they're pretty, and you can get a good burger for like $12 here with fries, and that's pretty typical for the Denver metro area.
I don't know if
That's what
golfing-
I was based it off of is your burgers. I'm like, how much am I going to get a burger?
Burgers
here
or
for?
pizza?
It's because my favorite burger is at Red Robin, and I know it's $11.99 Whiskey River Barbecue.
Judge him. There's definitely better places than Red Robin.
Oh, I love that
They're probably
Whiskey
judging
River.
me actually. Also, I don't know if it's included with the miscellaneous, but we are recording, which, I mean, come on guys. We're recording right outside Evergreen Lake, and on the, oh man, I don't have my directions. What's this way?
I think that's southwest.
Okay, well, southwest of the lake, there is a golf course there, and
Here, I'm gonna have to take out my compass here. Hold on.
Okay, golfing up here is probably a little bit more expensive than golfing down in Denver because it is nested. It's right next to the lake. It's nested in the beautiful Rocky Mountains, and it's worth it. So definitely. Are you finding your compass?
I'm putting on my compass. Oh, look
What
at
is
that.
it?
Oh, it's totally southwest. Yep, I was right.
All right. Well, good thing we have the compass on the Apple Watch over here. But anyways, so yes, it's a little bit more expensive because of those things, but people do not mind spending a little bit more to support local.
Yep, exactly, guys. Well, I think that's pretty much it, right?
I think you stumbled enough over the video.
This was definitely not one of my, I was like, blah, 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 blah. I must be coming down off of a coffee high or something.
That's true. We did have a pumpkin cream cold brew, blah, blah, blah.
Deliciousness.
Anyways, guys, if there's something that you want us to go over, if there's a certain area that we haven't covered, or you want us to dive into an area more than what we already have, please let us know. We're taking your request. This is actually a requested video, so thank you for taking the time to reach out. We are doing these videos for you every single day.
All right, guys. Until next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye. No, I mean, visiting's great, but today we're going to go over what it cost if... Fuck.
That was the easiest one.
I know, I got the views.
All right, so if you click this video, there's a good chance that you're looking at moving into blah.
You're interested in living here, freaking mother. And visiting, believe me, is great. But today we're going to talk about the cost of what it would... Can you hold one side?
No, because I like to move.
Yeah, you do. You were hitting me last video. You're like, mother.
Higher than the national average, right? More groceries are next, 105.3. No. Here's your national average. If what we're talking about, what?
You almost poked me in the eyeball.
All right, so I gotta know this isn't your only, blah.